Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Sideline Sports. I am your host, Alex Navejas. We are here live at the 22 West Studios here in Long Beach State. First, want to start you guys off by saying thank you so much to everybody that gave me the idea for this podcast. Just want to thank the family, the friends, the loved ones, everybody that was there for me to give me this idea. But without further ado, let's get things started. But first, want to start off just to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm Alex Naveja. I am a graduate here from Long Beach State with a journalism degree. First started off at Cerritos College, working about a year with the school newspaper in Talon Marks over in Cerritos College as the associate sports editor at first. I made a show in Cerritos College called Falcon Sports. You can actually find a couple of episodes there on YouTube. That was when I made my debut in front of the camera. Then, after the very next semester, I became the sports editor of Talon Marks. And after my time with Talon Marks, I graduated and transferred over to Long Beach State. And there I first started off as a basketball analyst here in 22 West Studios. Then after being a basketball analyst, I got into baseball broadcasting the very next semester. After that, I got an internship to be able to broadcast some summer baseball along the way. After that, came back, decided to do a little more, some basketball broadcasting. Then after I got some basketball broadcasting under my belt, got another year under my belt to do some Dirtbags baseball broadcasting for the Dirtbags. Then after the Dirtbag season came to an end this past summer, actually got the opportunity to broadcast for another summer collegiate baseball league. So now I'm back, ready to do some sports broadcasting and continue on and want to make this podcast for you guys to stay up to date with all of the SoCal sports news. So without further ado, let's get things rolling. Let's get things started. As first thing on my list is I want to talk about some Dodgers baseball. I mean, these guys are absolutely on fire. These guys, after the first game of the series, playing against the Marlins, they had a whopping 15-1 in game one. But what made this game so special about this series is they played against Miami Marlins, and it was Dustin May coming into the game. 0-1 his record in the major leagues after being called up, getting that first start against the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals getting the better end of him on that start. But Monday, getting that first major league win. What a game it was for him, pitching 5 2/3 inning of work, struck out 5 batters, only walked 3, and to throw 90 pitches. And I mean, this kid is ridiculous. He has a lot of major league potential here in the major leagues. He throws a good 2-seam, 4-seam cutter, and one thing I did not see was a flat fastball. This kid has a lot of potential in becoming a very big major leaguer. I mean, all of his fastballs, all of his pitches had ridiculous movements. And as far as the Marlins hitters are concerned, they were guessing on him. They did not know how to approach him. And of course, this is the first time the Marlins are even facing this kid. So it's always, whenever getting to know that new fresh face, whenever a top prospect is called up to the major leagues, the major league teams are always having a hard time being able to even touch sometimes these rookies, these prospects, these big-time prospects. But as far as the Marlins are concerned, they had a very hard time, and May ended up getting his first major league win. And of course, that first one's always a very tough one to get under your belt. But after you get that first one, it always feels great to get that first one. But then moving forward, you can take a deep breath and say, got that first win. Feels good. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. But talking about the Dodgers, there's always that big controversy that we're talking about right now. Astros, Dodgers, or Yankees. Which one of those are you buying into? And of course, I'm going to keep buying into the Dodgers. I mean, each one of these teams have a flaw. Both the Astros and the Dodgers, their flaws are in the bullpen. But here's the thing about it. The Dodgers, it's fixable. Their bullpen situation is very much fixable. They have a lot of moving parts, which is why Dave Roberts has become a very good manager that he is, making a lot of these players utility players. For crying out loud, he moved Jock Peterson from the corner outfield to a corner infield position. That wasn't one of the greatest of moves, but I mean, we're talking about Cody Bellinger that came in as a first baseman. Now he's playing over in right field, replacing Puig over there in right field. And you know what? Cody Bellinger is doing one heck of a job out in the outfield, but I mean, hey, I'm talking about a MVP caliber player right about now, but don't want to get a little too ahead of myself there. But a lot of players just moving into different positions that they're not quite accustomed to, and it's just unfortunate for the Dodgers, them getting hit with the injury bug with Kike out, Taylor out, even David Freese out. Those are some big-time players, and now newly acquired Tyler White being on the IL right now. But you know what? The Dodgers are still getting it done with all of their utility players being down on the IL. That just goes to show you how good and talented this ball club is. And you know what? Looking at it right now, the Dodgers, within the last 10 games, they're 8-2. 8-2. Let that sink in for a little bit. This is one of the hottest teams in baseball. If anything, this is the best team in baseball. Now, we're talking about the holes that are in their bullpen. Yeah, there's holes in their bullpen. But coming October, we're going to expect Kenta Maeda to go to the bullpen. Urias is already going to be in the bullpen. We can expect Tony Gosselin to be in the bullpen. Dustin May, if he continues on being a very hot pitcher that he is right now, we could definitely expect him to be in the starting rotation for the playoffs. And I'm not really worried about the bullpen. I'm just waiting to see how Joe Kelly's going to be like. How is Pedro Baez going to be like? How is Jansen? That's the biggest question that us Dodger fans have right now. What is Kenley Jansen going to be like out of the bullpen? Is he going to be old Kenley Jansen that can come in and get a 5-6 out save? Or is he only going to be able to do a 3-out save? I mean, just coming in the top of the ninth inning or even bottom of the ninth inning to come in, close down the doors, and keep it right then and there. But we'll have to wait and see. The bullpen's really going to have to step it up and really help and really get things going from there. So we'll have to wait and see what's to come for the Dodgers. And as far as the other two ball clubs, the Yankees, they are stacked. They are loaded. I can't emphasize that enough on bullpen. I mean, you look at their bullpen, they have Ottavino, they have Chapman, they have all these weapons that they can use in the later games. And their main problem is the starting rotation. They don't have anybody to really turn to right about now. So they need some help there. And unfortunately, with the new rule, with no more trade deadlines, no more waivers here in the month of August, they are not going to be able to bolster that up. The only way they can turn to is potentially their farm system. Maybe there's a young stud in AAA that can come up and step up to the mound and definitely try to face off against the AL. But I'm just saying, the AL is heating up right about now. You have teams like the Twins and the Indians trying to compete right about now. You have the Astros right now that are completely stacked as far as offense and starting rotation. As you can tell, that's not their issue right now. But the Yankees, it's reversed right now. Their strength right now is the bullpen, not the rotation. So the Yankees are going to be in a tough situation right now. So now, talking about the Astros, they have a heck of a rotation, as you guys know. Verlander, Cole, and they have Greinke. That's going to be pretty tough. But looking into my crystal ball right about now, looking at the potential World Series matchup, if it's Dodgers and Astros, the Dodgers aren't going to have any issues, if you ask me, with Greinke or with Cole, because they're both former National League pitchers. The only problem they're going to have with is Justin Verlander. And Verlander, he's a gamer. He will take you all 9 innings if it was up to him. But ultimately, it's going to be up to AJ Hinch, see if he wants to stretch him out all that much. But if you're AJ Hinch, you really want to try to limit the pitch count on Justin Verlander, especially just because of how the bullpen, it's not exactly at its strength. But if you're Justin Verlander, you really want to aim for that complete game and just go the complete 9 to shut it down if you're Justin Verlander. But comparing those 3 teams, I have the Dodgers being the top team. They're going to win the home field advantage. They're stacked, loaded, ready to go. Just all these players just playing some great baseball right about now. They're looking very dynamite right now. So Dodgers, they're taking on the Marlins right now. We'll wait to see on what's going to go on there in that series. But now, let's talk a little bit about some Angels baseball. I mean, right now, Angels coming off of a road trip, and even before going on that road trip, losing the series finale against the Tigers and losing that series against the Tigers, they went on the road playing 3 against the Indians, 2 against the Reds, 3 against the Red Sox, and now they're back home playing against the Pirates. And even before winning a game, they lost 8 straight games. 8 straight games. Angels are on a slump right now, standing 4th place of the American League West Division. Atop of them, Houston Astros, 78-43. Oakland A's, 67-52. The Rangers, 60-60. Then it's the Angels, 58-63. I mean, this team, they have a lot of offensive weapons in their lineup. I mean, the Angels, they have the best player in the world in Mike Trout. So producing runs shouldn't be an issue, but I mean, he's going to need help with the rest of the team, like Shohei Ohtani and Albert Pujols and the rest of the crew. I mean, Justin Upton as well. This is a guy that can really make a difference in the lineup as well. But Justin Upton hasn't been the product that he was brought in to be as far as this year is concerned. I mean, he first started off in the IL, and even then that messed up his offense a little bit. But now, talking a little bit about Albert Pujols, mentioning him just a little while ago right now, he is standing at 3,166 hits, and he is tied up with Adrian Beltre right now with the most hits in as far as non-American players. So looking to see if Albert Pujols will reach that milestone, and if he does, that'll be quite the milestone for him to reach in Albert Pujols. So looking for him and hoping that he can achieve that milestone. So Angels right now not looking for them to be a contender this year. I mean, the teams ahead of them, as I mentioned before already, are looking at the Astros, the A's, and even the Rangers. Very tough teams for the Angels to even pass up right now. So they just got to think about the future, about bolstering up their starting rotation and even their bullpen as well. That pitching is something they really have to address in the upcoming free agency and really try to see how many starting pitchers that they can sign. That Matt Harvey signing was a bit of a bust for the Angels right there. He first started off very well with the New York Mets. Then it was just like a roller coaster ride and him going down right then and there, which is why the Mets let him go. And as far as the free agency is concerned, that's when the Angels try to hop on it and see if maybe he can redeem himself for that coming year. But unfortunately, not being the case for Matt Harvey and the Angels. But now, let's talk a little bit about the San Diego Padres. Now, this is a prospect-rich team. And unfortunately, in very rare instances, the teams that are prospect-rich aren't exactly the most successful, except if you are the Dodgers. The Dodgers are a team that is very rich in prospects, and a lot of these prospects are kept in the system, and they come into the major leagues, and they end up shining, and they be outstanding players. I mean, you look at that Dodgers lineup, a majority of them being prospects. You look at Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, even then Dustin May, going to be a very good standout. Walker Buehler being one of them. Clayton Kershaw. These are all prospects out of the Dodgers system, and that will be very good prospects in the upcoming years for the Dodgers. But as far as the San Diego Padres are concerned, they do have a very good stud right now taking over in the shortstop position, and that is Tatis Jr. Tatis has been lights out, been an outstanding shortstop for the Padres. I mean, he beat out Manny Machado for the shortstop position for the Padres, and Manny Machado playing his old position over at third back in his Oriole days, and Machado not doing a bad job in that corner infield position either. So that left side of the infield for the Padres looks really good. Well, of course, with addition to Myers, Hosmer, of course, those are very good players, and then Austin Hedges, very good catcher behind the plate, very good defensive catcher, I would say, for the Padres. Very good indeed for the Padres, and I really think that the farm system for the Padres is going to be something to watch for in the near future for the Padres. Right now, sitting at fourth place, right below the Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants, another team that is pretty rich in the farm system. But I would say give the Padres at least 3 or 4 years before they'll actually start to contend in that National League West. But even then, within those 3 or 4 years, I still think they're going to be competing against with the Dodgers. I don't see the Dodgers going down anytime soon, as long as Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, and that young core, Alex Verdugo also being in that young core. As long as they're there, I truly believe the Dodgers will be in contention for quite some time. But hey, the Padres could still be in the chase for a wild card spot, but it's going to be very tough for them within the next coming years with, the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Cubs. We can even expect the Cincinnati Reds. They're making moves starting now, trading away some very good guys for some very good prospects. We're starting to see some very good prospects being called up as well. So a lot of teams starting to come up and getting in the mix for the Padres, and even then for the Cincinnati Reds, as we mentioned before. But Padres right now, standing in fourth place, just trying to figure out to see how Manny Machado's first year in his contract is going to be. But even then, Machado being Machado, he's doing his thing, hitting very well. Defense is still there, but I will be very honest with all of you guys. I do not like his lack of hustle. I mean, I've always been a player of hustle, always running out every hard 90, always. If there was a ground ball, whether it was a fly ball, pop up, whatever it may be, if I knew I was going to be out, I still ran it out, because an error can happen at any given moment, and the defense will drop the ball, and that's easy. That's a double right there in the books. You're there at second, possibly even at third if you hit a long fly ball and they drop the ball. You're easily a triple, potentially even an inside the park there. And any ball that Manny Machado hits, he's always going to jog it out. Always. I respect Manny Machado for the defense he plays, that arm he possesses over at the corner infield, and that bat he has as well. But just the one thing that I do not like is just the lack of hustle, and especially the comments he made in the offseason saying, I'm not your typical Johnny Hustle type of player. But to each their own, I would say, and at least the very good player that he is in playing good defense and the hitting at least balances itself out. But that's going to do it for me here in Sideline Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in for episode 1. You guys can catch the very next episode at 6 p.m. every Thursday. You guys can check out the YouTube channel. It's easy. It's Sideline Sports on the YouTube channel. You guys can find it on AudioMac, even on SoundCloud as well. So make sure to check out those 3 platforms. Still going to be working on how to get the episodes up on iTunes. So if you want to watch the episode, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe over to my YouTube channel. That is Sideline Sports. If you guys want to listen, you guys can find it on AudioMac or even on SoundCloud. And again, make sure to stay up to date with all my social media platforms. Twitter, at Alex J. Naveja. My Instagram, it is at Alex Naveja Sports. And in Facebook, that is Alex Naveja. So that's a wrap. Have a good day, everybody. I am Alex Naveja. We'll see you next week on the next episode.